Hello, I am 35 years old and I have never had a girlfriend. It's interesting saying that now because when I was younger, I really wanted a girlfriend. Our social conditioning primes us to believe that dating and relationships are the holy grail of what it takes to have a good life. Through TV shows, movies, books, social media, popular culture, and the people around us, we grow up inundated with images of romance, love, sex, you name it. We are social creatures after all. We're born this way. It's in our DNA. It's the natural human desire for companionship and intimacy. Or if you're really weird, you might say, it comes from the evolutionary drive to reproduce and pass on our genetic material to ensure the survival of our species. Either way, we have this obsession with relationships, dating, and sexuality. Juicy hot gossip about who is dating who, interpersonal drama, people becoming sex and status symbols. We derive much of our perceived value in the dateability of people, how desirable they or we seem as a partner, both physically and emotionally.
You can't not like Marvel. It's amazing.
Yeah.
There's a dating market and whole industries dedicated to the pursuit and maintenance of romantic relationships. One could posit that our society revolves around people coming together in romantic couples. It's kind of our thing. So if you aren't in a relationship or can't get laid, that means you're a loser. Ha 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 ha. L. Hold the L. Take this L. Take the L, baby. You're a loser. You should just die. No, you're not gonna die if you're single. It's the title of the video. If you don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you'll be fine. I am fine. I like being single. If I had said that to a younger version of myself, Little Zatzman might have said,
"Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?"
Little Zatzman. But I've gone to a better place when it comes to this whole relationships, sex, dating dealio. So I want to share and explore the benefits of being single, all the feels that go along with it, the stigmas, why it's not so bad, and ways to reframe your mindset around this pernicious topic so that you can become more based and Zatzpilled. That's a thing. As I said, I developed an idealized version of romance and partnership from a young age, without knowing how to express myself positively. If you've ever seen the film 500 Days of Summer, the romantic comedy starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel, I related hardcore to the main character Tom. Yeah, I know. Huge red flag, cringe era. If you haven't seen the film, Tom believes in true love, finding the one, and he meets Summer, who doesn't believe in true love.
There's no such thing as love, it's fantasy.
Well, I think you're wrong.
So of course they start dating. Summer's upfront and transparent about how she wants a casual fling. Tom, with his rose-tinted glasses, develops strong feelings for Summer. And Tom, well, Tom sucks.
I hate this song! Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
That's kind of the point. He's essentially the prototypical nice guy who thinks, wow, she likes the Smiths, I like the Smiths. We're practically soulmates.
Holy shit.
And his entire life is defined by who he is dating at that moment. He doesn't seem to have much going on and puts Summer on that oh-so-high pedestal so that when the relationship inevitably falls apart, Tom falls apart too. If you left the film thinking that Tom was right and Summer was a huge bitch the entire time, well, that's certainly a read, and that used to be my read, until years later when I realized how base Summer is.
I like being on my own. Relationships are messy and people's feelings get hurt. Who needs it?
She's right, you know.
Actually, all the female characters in this movie are pretty based.
Just because some cute girl likes the same bizarro crap you do, that doesn't make her your soulmate, Tom.
She's right, you know.
Though, to be fair, Summer could have been a bit more empathetic to Tom, seeing how invested he was, and perhaps letting him down more easily. But Tom still sucks. There's a point in the movie after breaking up with Summer when he goes on a date with a really nice girl named Allison who is super cool, and he makes the evening super not cool, straight up telling her that he's not over his ex and complaining about it to her the entire time.
Go fight! Go! Let's fight! See ya! Waste of time. You don't look anything like Summer.
Real loser shit. Hashtag justice for Allison. While I wasn't as bad as Tom, his character shows how these cultural attitudes around the importance of relationships and having an unhealthy fixation with being in one can stifle you in many ways. But more on that later. There's a major stigma to being single, and this affects all genders. Stereotypes exist with the weird dorky loser who can't get a date or talk to girls, or the crazy cat woman who lives with 12 different cats who happen to be the primary benefactors on her last will and testament. If you've gone many years without being in a relationship, or have never been in one, there's pressure from family, friends, and colleagues asking you, hey, you seeing anybody? When are you gonna get married? Give me grandkids now! Which would be very bizarre if that came from your work colleagues. The societal expectation is that if you aren't dating anybody or can't find a partner, then there's something wrong with you. You're wondering, why haven't I found somebody? Because everybody else seems to be. If you're in high school, people be dating and you're not. If you're in university, people be dating and you're not. And then as you get older, you start feeling that biological clock going tick, 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 tick. Everyone in your age group is getting hitched, having children, and transitioning into that next phase of life. And you're not, which will then prepare them for the next phase of life when they are even older and have a partner or family around them to mutually take care of each other in old age. Meanwhile, you just have the cats.
Women are like cats and tend to roam free and come and go as they please.
From a monetary standpoint, it makes sense why you would want to be partnered up. According to Anne Helen Peterson, not Jordan Peterson,
take cocaine all the time.
The tax code, social security benefits, pensions, health insurance, IRAs, and countless other aspects of our societal infrastructure are set up to support married family units and disadvantage those who choose to stay single. This particularly impacts women who can expect to live longer than men but earn less over their lifetimes. If you happen to be among the 70% of people in committed relationships, you can reap the benefits of all this glorious infrastructure. The cost of modern living isn't as dire when you can divvy up the responsibilities between two people. Go team! Which is deliciously ironic considering the values of self-sufficiency and individualism that embody our Western culture. My bank account goes ouchie when I pay rent every month. I should probably start the Patreon. On a deeper level, there are feelings of shame and alienation associated with being single. When everyone around you is dating or in relationships, it's like there's an aspect of the human experience that is ubiquitous but somehow inaccessible to you. People talk about dates they've gone on, experiences with their partners, various sexual escapades, and you're just sitting there as if they're speaking a foreign language.
You know, when you grab a woman's breast and you feel it and it feels like a bag of sand when you're touching it.
Bag of sand?
You want to relate to them, but can't. When you're surrounded by the ever-presence of sex, dating, and relationships, and you haven't experienced them the way others have, or are not experiencing them, that's gonna weigh on your mind. While everyone has aced this basic human life test with flying colors, you can't seem to hack it, and it's aggravating. You think that if nobody is romantically interested in you, then you are somehow unworthy of love, or have less value, always playing second fiddle to everyone else's special someone because you are neither a special someone nor have that special someone yourself. This is not true. Societal standards are arbitrary and not real.
It's fiction. We made it up. It's a total fabrication.
But while all these stigmas and challenges exist, the strongest pull to be not single comes from the internal desire to seek out romantic partners. Whether you share in Tom's romanticism, Summer's casualness, or you don't want to be alone, or you want to share joy, or want to build a life with someone else, or you just want to fuck, it goes without saying that people genuinely want to be with somebody. The desire to love and the desire to be loved. Please don't start quoting Evo Psych at me. If you are single, it's probably because of one of these intersecting factors on my patented 10 reasons why you are single list. This isn't an exhaustive or ordered list. There's gonna be overlap and random shit thrown around. So if I missed out on anything, feel free to share your reasons in the comments. That's a call to action, baby. Yeah. This is the Reddit thread I dug through for inspiration. It's from the same subreddit that has such bangers as, my GF wants to hold my pee-pee while I pee. Update. I told her, okay, but I have to clean up if your aim is off. Laughing emoji. She replied, I don't miss. Face with steam from nose emoji. Face with steam from nose emoji. Number 1. You lack opportunities to meet new people. You could live alone in the woods with a bear whose name is Yogi. And while Yogi is smarter than the average bear, Yogi doesn't know how to communicate with humans. This is largely an external factor. Where you live, what you do, whether you work from home or commute or are in school. And if there are third places in your vicinity where humans can do human things, you aren't going outside and putting yourself in places and situations with other people, you aren't going to meet other people. Duh. Number 2, you lack confidence. You're shy, afraid of rejection, or you had bad experiences growing up that killed your self-esteem. So you don't put yourself out there for dating opportunities. Why bother starting a conversation with that cute guy or girl and asking them to go get some ice cream? Everybody loves ice cream. Or gelato, gelato, gelato. Number 3, you lack experience. You don't know how to date or get into a relationship. You don't know how to become more attractive or behave more attractively, both physically and emotionally. It just hasn't happened for you, and you don't know why. Flirting with people and giving out your phone number? What is that? Mazze, ani lo yode. Eze stuyot. Number 4, you have a negative outlook. You can be shy, you can be inexperienced, you can be awkward, you can be weird, you name it, and you can still have a positive disposition towards everything and everyone around you. However, if you have negative views about yourself, other people, the dating scene, etc., that's going to seep in and sabotage your chances of putting your best foot forward and forming connections with other people. Talking poorly about yourself is not going to endear you to others. I'm not qualified to talk about unprocessed low-T trauma or internalized toxic attitudes, be they masculine or feminine. Those can influence your ways of thinking and hold you back. Number 5, whoa. Adding to the things I'm unqualified to talk about, I'm including neurodivergence. FT Signifier covered some of this in the video about incels that I edited for money, where he discussed the challenges autistic people face when it comes to dating and relationships. I'm not well versed in this area because I'm not neurodivergent, and dealing with those issues is beyond this video's scope, but I wanted to acknowledge that it can play a role. Number 6, your mental health is bad and you have no motivation to do much of anything. You're depressed or burnt out and feels bad. You could just hate yourself at the moment and don't want to be around others. It's alright, I get it, and I'm hoping you pull through and get to a better place. I believe in you. Number 7, you are incredibly picky and won't lower your standards, which is fine, by the way. More power to you. Look at you, having standards, but still a reason. You haven't met anybody who seems like the kind of person you want to date long term or who improves your life in a meaningful capacity. Sometimes there just ain't that chemistry, so you'd rather be single than stuck with the wrong person. Number 8, you've been burned by bad relationships in the past. Shitty exes, unfaithful partners, bad sex, soured the whole dating experience for you, which makes the prospect of going through all that emotional work, yet again, less desirable. You're jaded. That I'm the one that jaded you. Number 9, ow. You haven't had much success in the past when it comes to dating and don't want to put in any more effort as you're turned off by the current dating scene. Apps with no matches, boring singles events, people catfishing and ghosting, the list goes on and on. Shit costs time and money. At a certain point, looking for a relationship can become a part-time job side hustle. Everyone you meet who seems interesting is already dating someone else, and everyone else who is interested in you don't find attractive. You have a type, but you're not your type's type. Womp womp. Also, you have commitment issues. Also, you are emotionally unavailable. And finally, number 10, you choose to be single because you like being single. My problems were the lacking confidence and experience with a dash of mental health bad, and the rest of them, except for number 5. But I'm bringing this up because A, if you are single and want to find someone, these issues can be worked through. So don't give me that fucking doomer pill bullshit. Believe me, I understand the frustration that goes along with failing to get something you wish for and struggling in that area.
Meanwhile,
everyone else seems to be having a grand old time. This shit comes easy to them and hearing them proselytizing generic self-help advice like, oh, just be yourself, or don't worry, there's someone out there for everyone, low-key drives you mad. It sucks when you're in that headspace, but you're not doomed. And B, you don't have to be a perfect, fully actualized version of yourself to get the relationships you want. It's a process. It's a journey. The great journey calls to us. If people had to be the best versions of themselves to be happy, then no one would be happy. Just try to be a bit better and don't be too hard on yourself. So while you're probably single for some of these reasons, this is to illustrate that there are more pressing underlying issues at the root that are more important than your mere relationship status. I view dating and relationship skills as a part of your overall social skills. You might lack confidence in dating because you lack confidence in general. If you have a negative disposition towards other people in the world, that's going to affect how you come across when interacting with said people. One example in my case is something as simple as, I'm not good at taking initiative in my relationships. Whether it's making plans to see people for hanging out, or going out on dates, I'd always be the invitee, not the inviter. I like to follow along rather than lead. So naturally, doing something as simple as asking someone out or making a plan for a date felt alien to me and was a skill I had to develop. Despite being a late bloomer and not getting around to the dating realm until my 20s, I worked on these skills, had some fun and not so fun experiences, and what I discovered was a change in approach that shifted my thinking away from the Tom nice guy to more chill guy with the vibes and empathy who ultimately enjoys being single. A hot take is that the obsession with relationships in our culture, while understandable, is ultimately what makes many of them unhealthy. Being okay with being alone is a huge step you can take that can cultivate your sense of self. I'm drawing on many concepts expressed in the book Single on Purpose by John Kim, which was recommended to me by my barber. And if you're watching this, Harry, I'm citing my goddamn sources. So please don't kill me. Being single can be amazing. You have the freedom to do what you want, when you want, using your spare time however you want. It's an excellent opportunity for self-discovery. Having the space to learn about yourself, your values, what drives you, what you want out of life, and your purpose. I know it's cliche to say, but developing a healthy relationship with yourself and becoming comfortable being by yourself is good for your overall well-being. You can save money, learn how to become self-sufficient and independent, you can explore new interests, new areas, learn new skills, you can prioritize your physical and mental health. Essentially, you can take control of your life and become a fully actualized, fulfilled, happy person. This doesn't mean you have to isolate yourself while you're on your life grind. In fact, you have the chance to be more open to the world, meet new and different kinds of people, and cultivate deeper bonds with those already in your life. And this tea, you have the chance to drink more tea. It's freeing in the sense that you're not attached to the concept of romantic potential. You're not always out there on the prowl. You're not concerned whether or not someone finds you attractive. You can just chill and be around people. If anything, that can make you more attractive, but that is not the goal. A relationship by itself won't necessarily make you happier. Based on the existing literature, it would seem like if you get married, you'll have a happier, healthier life. But according to researcher Bella DiPaolo, author of Singled Out, she discovered many methodological flaws with these studies. Studies that don't account for divorced people among those who have already been married, and confirmation bias that people want marriage to bring happiness. Or it could be that happier people who want to get married tend to get married. Shocker. Body research doesn't seem to be as conclusive as it's portrayed in the media. In addition to the fact that there isn't a lot of research done that's motivated by the desire to understand single life. There's an implicit assumption that getting to a relationship or married is the desired outcome, even if the overall happiness levels are similar between the two groups. This is because single people can still pursue a wide gamut of companionship with friends, family, and their community. There's a good article by Michael Blackman of BuzzFeed News where he chronicles various singles. I vibe with Jessie Atkin when she discussed the benefits of having a number of incredibly important relationships in your life, and that being single was not something to fight against, it was something to experience. The whole article is great, and it tends to line up with Pew Research about dating and relationships. Sometimes the discourse surrounding the loneliness epidemic is framed as, look at all these young, single, mostly men who aren't in a relationship. Oh no, the rise of lonely single men. Isn't that bad? Western society is falling apart. Blah. But when you look at the survey data, The majority of single adults said they were not looking for a relationship or casual dates, with the number one reason being, you guessed it, they enjoyed being single or had more important priorities in their lives. Women don't be shopping. Women be looking for careers. Women be looking for freedom. Well, actually, women are looking for more committed relationships when they are dating compared to men. And perhaps the mismatch in dating expectation plays a role into why so many young men are single. Could it be that people want different types of relationships with different types of people based on their level of compatibility? Could it be that human beings are imperfect creatures who are just trying their best and some of them don't know what they want? No. It's because they've been corrupted by feminism. No, it's because they have unrealistic standards or some shit like that. I don't know. Could it be that both genders and non-genders deal with the same shit when it comes to dating and relationships? And by empathizing with their unique problems instead of blaming others for your shortcomings, you gain a greater understanding of our collective human experience that in turn makes you a well-rounded and chill person with the vibes. No, men bad, women bad. I'm bad. The point is that getting into a relationship, dating, or having sex in itself will not fix your problems or necessarily make your life better. There's nothing wrong with you for merely being single. There are people in relationships who would be much happier single, and many adults of different ages who are happy being alone. The real issue is attaching your self-worth to whether or not you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or having sex. Who you are is not determined by your relationship status, sexual history, or future history, because time is an illusion. Remember that you are a whole, unique, and valuable individual, regardless of whether you have a partner or not. Sex, dating, and relationships come with their own sets of challenges and won't negate all your insecurities. Bad relationships can even exacerbate them. Doubt can still creep in through jealousy, fears, over-attachment, and codependence. You can feel just as alone with a partner as you can without one. It's the same deal with having sex or getting laid. The right person, you'll have some fun. But boinking somebody, I wrote boinking somebody. But boinking somebody can also be awkward, uncomfortable, hollow, and shockingly overrated. There's a saying that having sex is a lot like eating pizza. Even when it's bad, it's still pizza. But counterpoint, diarrhea.
Hey, Lois.
What?
Diarrhea.
Pete, I'm holding iced tea.
I don't understand why people are always like, oh my god, sex is the greatest every time, always. Blah. And then completely ignore that bad sex happens. These specific actions and relational states are arbitrary. You're the one who creates meaning in any given thing. And you can find that without a spouse or mashing genitals together. Mashing that friggin' A button. As much as it seems like our whole lives revolves around dating and relationships, so much of life exists outside of them that you might be missing the forest for the trees. There's more to you than who you date or who you fuck. Yeah. Going back to 500 Days of Summer, this is the main problem with Tom. He puts dating and who he is dating on a pedestal. Tom's defining character trait is his aspiration to be an architect, but the man has no courage to go after what he wants, so he ends up stuck in an unfulfilling job writing greeting cards for Agent Coulson. When Summer asks him whether he likes her, Tom can't answer honestly, make a move, or deal with rejection, so the Riz escapes him, and it's Summer who begins their romance. The film emphasizes that Summer is a completely average normal girl who becomes the pretty, perfect, quirky, manic pixie dream girl in Tom's eyes because Tom is more enamored with the idea of Summer and what she represents to him and not who she is. These are the reasons why their relationship falls apart. Tom isn't mature enough and ends up not being the right person for her. She completely bodies him at the end with this line.
I just woke up one day and I knew.
Knew what?
What I was never sure of with you.
His simplistic and one-dimensional view of relationships and the concept of true love, coupled with his inability to go after the things he wants, makes him define his self-worth through an idealized version of a woman who is just a woman. After their breakup, Tom gets his shit together by going on his self-improvement Sigma grind set, so that when the next romantic interest comes along, he's more suited as a well-rounded individual to treat Autumn, I can't believe they called her that, as an actual person. The film can serve as a cautionary tale and a reality check, one of the lessons I took away from it is the importance of having a life of your own, regardless of whether you're in a relationship or not. And this begins with having a solid relationship with yourself. Or what John Kim describes as things that bring you joy, engagement, and meaning. This means hobbies, friendships, and other interests, be they physical or cognitive, more so to discover who you are and what you enjoy doing. Being okay with being single can imply a problematic state of cope, which it isn't. It's about enjoying the process of being rather than worrying about outcomes. That's the theme of the channel. You'll always have to deal with some level of insecurity, even if you're content with being single. I still deal with feelings of longing and moments of loneliness, getting caught in daydreams, fantasies, and what ifs of being with somebody. Also just being horny.
Do I make you horny, baby? Yeah!
Yeah, baby, yeah. Do I make you horny, baby? Da 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 da. Sexual frustration. But that's just a part of being human. Some days, it's like that. You sit on your living room sofa, watching 500 Days of Summer, or lay in bed, watching 500 Days of Summer, all while wishing you had someone to spend time with, laugh together, share sweet nothings into each other's ears, that special someone you can confide in and rely on for emotional support. Most days, I'm content with being by myself. I like it. This is not cope. I'm fine. Really. It's about not tying the identity to these emotions, rather aiming for self-compassion when they crop up. We're social creatures who survive by being based and community-pilled, so yearning for companionship makes sense. However, you don't want to develop your relationships from insecurity and neediness, because that insecurity will creep up and become their undoing. This does not mean that you shouldn't desire sex, dating, or relationships. Rather, stop putting that shit on a pedestal and viewing all that as an all-important end in itself. People aren't prizes to be won or achievements to be unlocked. People are people. Striving for balance in your life is crucial so that these feelings don't consume you. It's like being terminally online, where all you do all day is scroll social media posts, narrowing your perception of the world, which makes you terminally lonely and sad-pilled. That's all you have going on. You're gonna have a bad time. Having an abundance of people and activities you find meaningful is the cure for being sad-pilled. So even if one area of your life is a complete dumpster fire, it won't bother you as much because you have more going on to be grateful for. There's a misguided tendency where we undervalue friendships and overvalue relationships. Seeing as you do need some human connection, seeking out solid friendships or communities is more important than seeking out partners, in my humble opinion. Just being real, if you can't be likable, make friends, and maintain those friendships, it's going to be nigh impossible for you to find a potential partner in the first place. Along the same lines, I've always found it frustrating when people complain about online dating or the modern dating scene. If dating apps are your only perceived avenue for meeting people and you are bad at them, it's going to mess up how you feel about dating in general. First off, understand the medium, alright? In addition to the fact that these are for-profit companies who make their money off of an active user base, there is a larger pool of men trying to swipe on every single woman from a smaller pool of women. And this will skew how people interact with the app. It's game theory, baby. Women can be more selective. However, this isn't necessarily a plus. The quote I see that most accurately describes this phenomenon is that men are looking for clean water in a desert, while women are looking for clean water in a swamp. I do not envy the women who have to wade through an endless supply of gross swamp dick being thrown in their direction. Somebody once told me the... By the way, fellas, women prefer emotionally available men who are good communicators and who share their values, and we typically lack these skills for being socially conditioned as men. This does not mean you have to toss away traditional masculinity. Rather, having a balance makes you an all-round, more attractive person. If you want to reframe it as the masculine-feminine energy equilibrium, by all means, be my guest. I think that the accessibility and ease of online dating, coupled with the incentivization of social media posting, is what makes the modern dating scene appear messier than it is. Everyone with their goddamn opinions about sex, dating, and relationships based on their values and upbringing, all coming together to mingle and broadcast said opinions and experiences to everyone else through the medium of a fucking phone application. With all this noise, it's like, Yeah, no shit, the modern dating scene seems fucked. If you're Machiavellian, you can farm all this stuff for content, selectively picking up perspectives that aren't reflective of most people. To repackage it to an audience for money will then either remain in a state of perpetual outrage or fall into a black pit of despair. Internet marketers profit off of your emotions like anger or fear or insecurity. Or you could like chill the fuck out, as most people do. According to Pew Research, positive and negative experiences on dating apps are roughly 50-50. It's a 50-50 shot. It's not all negative. You gotta coin flip. Flip a coin, baby. Online dating doesn't have to be any more difficult than dating through in real life interactions, so long as you know how to play the game. Having good pictures, an interesting profile about yourself and things you do, being able to message like a normal, fun, casual person with some flirty banter while sussing out the vibe, setting up a date, and then doing the date. Essentially, market yourself better and learn how to make the most of your opportunities by cutting out the bullshit and approaching it with a better mindset. If you aren't getting matches or going on dates, you work on those areas, problem solving, and iterating until you get more in the zone. Developing your social skills in general will translate between IRL and online dating, because, as it turns out, you can meet people in real life through your various interests and not rely on these demonic applications to fill your needs. The overall broader point is that if you have a dynamic life and multiple avenues to meet people, it eases whatever stress you feel due to lack of dating success. I understand how soul-crushing it can be, but sometimes I'll be listening to people complaining and wonder if they even enjoy dating to begin with. Like, bro, do you even like women? Oh my god, women, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, you're a man, right? Hey, instead of complaining, why don't you just fucking like cook some meat, grill a steak, grill pill that shit.
Le grill? What the hell is that?
Just go do something else with your life. I remember being on this crappy date. It felt like I was interviewing for assistant manager at TD Bank. The whole time, me and this girl had no chemistry whatsoever, and to make matters worse, I think she took my bubble tea at the end of it. I think I might have given it to her or whatever. But I was fine because I was seeing a bunch of friends later. I had some other potential dates lined up. I wasn't desperate. I had my standards. I had my red flags. And I was seeing if we clicked. We didn't. C'est la vie. I've had better dates. I've had worse dates. That's how it is. Life goes on. Stoicism. It's stoicism. That's the answer. And having things in your life that you care about more than your relationship status. It's about not being so attached to an outcome and believing that you'll be fine no matter what. Focusing on the things that depend upon yourself. Your beliefs, your decisions, your character, who you are is your responsibility. You try putting your best foot forward, and if others aren't interested, so be it. The attitude you bring towards being single or anything can determine whether you stay single or not. If you're a bitter, resentful, negative person, that's not very attractive, especially if you post that cringe online. I used to get jealous whenever I'd see couples together.
Get a room. Really?
And now it's like, oh, they're cute. And I'm happy for them. It's similar to someone describing their cool car to me. I don't care about the car. Glad you care about the car. I don't care about the car. So it's like other people talking about having a cool car that they fuck sometimes when the car doesn't have a headache. This is how I moved away from the Tom nice guy mentality. On the surface, I just need some confidence and practical dating advice to put myself out there more in a healthier manner. Less putting potential partners on pedestals and more, hey, women are people too. Hey, women are horny too. And don't take it personally if you get shot down. There are plenty of fish in the sea. There are so many fish. It's an ocean. This lesson was hammered home when I was on the other end of that dynamic by turning down women who were into me. There's nothing wrong with them. I just didn't want to date them. And it all clicked into place. If I'm being real, what turned me away from dating was realizing that I was motivated less by meeting some cool chicks and more by the personal validation for being attractive that I didn't receive earlier in my life. I haven't found a girl that I like to date long term, nor do I want to lead someone on. One thing I've always struggled with is losing myself in the lives of other people I care about, living vicariously through their experiences rather than creating my own. The core of which is not having a strong identity, and all that other shit I talked about in my other videos, which you should definitely watch after this one. Paradoxically, I'm afraid of losing myself in whatever it is I'm doing and whoever I'm seeing. Perhaps this has something to do with my adult attachment style and my non-committal approach to many things. Hey, maybe the reasons why I haven't posted consistently on this YouTube channel are the same reasons why I'm single. That's the idea I want you to take away from this video, and the reason why I went on this little tangent about dating, even though we're talking about why it's okay to be single. It's not about your dating life, it's about your life around it and the effort you give it. Hence why this isn't necessarily a tutorial on how to make friends or how to date people. You bring value to those around you because it comes from a place of genuine self-expression, allowing others to bring value into your life through the laws of equivalent exchange. Normal people meet through community and shared interests. Through doing this, you'll meet someone or someones into the same stuff as you, and you'll be happy because you'll be around people doing the same stuff you like to do. It's a bubbling branching effect where your possibilities of social circle expansion are endless. All it takes is one person. You meet one person you click with, they have friends who also have friends, you hang out, exchange information, and begin inviting people to events, lunches, outings, and or getting invited to things. You meet more people, and some of those friends might be interested in you in that special way. It's more natural to introduce yourself in this manner, and you have a better chance of expressing your personality in person rather than a dating profile picture that takes a millisecond swipe to fling away. Or you can just post thirst traps on Instagram and slide into the DMs. What they call a pro gamer move. But where the fuck are you supposed to meet people? There are fewer social spaces and societal stigmas for talking to strangers. How are you supposed to approach in real life? People be scary. Yup. Meeting other human beings is hard, especially in adult life when many are settled into what's familiar and safe to them. People can be wary of strangers and others outside of their circle, so don't take it personally. Still, there are plenty of places and social meetups to be sought out where it is more socially acceptable to mingle. Beyond that, I've gone to events, movies, parks, and other places by myself and have started conversations with strangers, usually based on environmental cues or whatever. Sometimes you meet cool people and vibe. So long as you're a positive and personable person. So long as you're a positive and personable person who brings good energy and who isn't trying to get anything out of the interaction. They don't mind if you're by yourself. They remember how you make them feel. It can be small, short, sweet interactions, but a W is a W. Small wins, baby. If you haven't been social or inexperienced, sometimes you gotta take your L's and learn from the experience. I still do. But you reframe events positively in your mind based on the actions you take rather than the outcomes. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Michael Scott. Don't be too hard on yourself. I stumbled across a comment on Quora that expresses a frequent sentiment I see among the recipients of advice or guidance along these lines. People who say you'll find someone eventually, or learn to love yourself, are just spewing careless bullshit to make their egos about trying to help someone feel better. And look, I get it. Believe me, I was a Tom. But at a certain point, I just raise my hands in exacerbation and go, yeah, but what else is there? Do you want to vent? Do you want to cope? Do you want me to date you? Hey, where do you want to go on our first date? Comment down below. It's like coming up against a wall. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm just an online media personality. You gotta deal with that shit. I can give you all the fucking practical advice in the world about how to present yourself better, how to improve your social skills, how to generate and recognize interest in those you fancy, becoming a more attractive person, how to date better. It's all there. Fucking Dale Carnegie wrote the Bible on social skills back during the Great Depression. There are subreddits and forums dedicated to helping you out. This YouTube channel is pretty good. Easy actually, because it is simple actually. But if you don't try to handle your shit through taking action, both internally and externally, then what's the point? I understand that it's challenging and seemingly unfair, but you can't try to help people who don't try to help themselves. Luck is a crucial element that's overlooked when it comes to relationships. You just haven't found people whom you're compatible with. However, you can take responsibility for yourself and keep trying. Instead of looks maxing, it's luck maxing. Leave your room, go outside, and luck max. Okay, being single isn't the end of the world. I've gotten to a place where I'm content and comfortable with myself. Relationship or not, I'm fine. I'm able to do things by myself and enjoy my own company. I've taken the time to focus on what matters to me, all while doing a bunch of different activities solo that keep me busy. And solo. Fitness, biking, reading books, writing, making online videos, going out to local places by myself and checking out the scenes. It's cool. I become more attuned to my needs and am more in sync with who I am and my life mission. Loneliness still happens from time to time, and the remedy to that is self-care. Treating yourself like you would treat a good friend. Date yourself. Take yourself out for a nice walk, go to the movies, get some ice cream, go to the theater in the park. It's cool. I may never find a partner. You may never find a partner. Can you deal with that? You have to stay present and handle your insecurities while recognizing that you are enough and can provide value to everyone. You matter, and connecting to yourself, recognizing your self-worth, working on yourself, and slowly building that over time through new experiences can shift your attitude in a positive direction. This puts you in a better position to beat someone if you so choose. You're still alive, you've got a chance. You'd be surprised how many people are in the same boat. If you think that there's nobody out there or you'll never find someone, you either haven't met enough people, or you need to improve your mindset, or go to therapy, or make a YouTube channel. Either way, just don't be like Tom. Tom sucks.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better. Mentos freshness, fresh goes better with Mentos. I'm losing my mind.
Mentos, the fresh maker.